Welcome to Slow News Day Live. I'm Steve Boykin, and I'm here in beautiful Boulder Creek, California, where the flannel shirt is our state flag, the pit bull is our state bird, and cannabis is our state flower. Taylor Hudak, who co-hosts the Free Assange Vigil series with me, Andrew Smith, Christy Dopp, Unity for Jay, compiled a list of statements made by every single presidential candidate running on how they feel about Julian Assange. I'll link the article in the description. You can also find it at is that a .com? Yes, action, the number 4, Assange.com. Which, by the way, we have the organization Action for Assange that Andrew and Taylor co-founded has complete and full ownership rights of that website now, which is fucking awesome. And so Taylor put together a compendium of statements made by presidential candidates. I would like to point out that when you go and read the article, even the ones who have dropped out, their statements are included. But there's a line crossing them out, which now needs to be edited because it looks like Kirsten Gillibrand is going to go ahead and pack it in and continue to be a fairly horrible senator from New York. So good riddance to that. But let's get into a few of these statements. Here's former president or former vice president Joe Biden. In an interview from 2010 with ABC News Australia, they asked Joe Biden if the U.S. should take any measures to stop Julian Assange. This is, of course, after the release of the Afghan war diaries. Then Vice President Biden, he says, we're looking at that right now. The Justice Department is taking a look at that, and I'm not going to comment. And then he was asked if Assange was a criminal, and Biden says if he conspired to get these classified documents with a member of the U.S. military, that's fundamentally different than if someone drops on your lap, here, David, you're a press person, here's classified material. The anchor asked Biden if this case is more like the Pentagon Papers or a high-tech terrorist. Biden says, I would argue that it's closer to being a high-tech terrorist than the Pentagon Papers, which is funny because in the recent dismissal of the DNC's lawsuit against WikiLeaks and Julian Assange and the Russian government and Batman and 3 guys from New Jersey, all named Joey, and 4 paper cups. In that dismissal, they cited the Pentagon Papers as exactly why it was frivolous and ridiculous of the DNC to sue them based on the release of leaked material. So, obviously, Joe Biden, not a prognosticator or a forecaster. And definitely not on the side of press freedom or Julian Assange. Cory Booker, 2016, in a video posted by Press for Truth, reporter Dan Dix asked Cory Booker what he thought of the WikiLeaks revelations, suggesting the 2016 primary was rigged in favor of then candidate Hillary Clinton. Booker, well, the WikiLeaks are awful, and it was unfortunate, and I'm glad the DNC chair, inaudible, stepped aside. Cory Booker grabbing onto that boot and giving it a big ol' lick before saying something unnecessary about Debbie, what's her name, Schultz. The WikiLeaks. You know what? You know why I think that it says the WikiLeaks is because Rachel fucking Maddow always refers to Julian Assange as the WikiLeaks guy, never by name. If she does say his name out loud, it's with as much venom as she can twist up and put into it. But he's always the WikiLeaks guy. She says it in a super condescending voice. So I think that Cory Booker and probably more than half of the presidential candidates watch the Rachel Maddow and listen to the garbage she spews on the Rachel Maddow show. And that possibly has some influence as to why Cory Bootlicker there calls it the WikiLeaks. Pete Buttigieg. In a 2019 interview with CBS Radio, CIA Pete was asked about Chelsea Manning being imprisoned for a second time and her refusal to testify before a grand jury investigating WikiLeaks. CIA Pete says, as someone who was tasked with handling sensitive information, let's stop right there real quick. He is still tasked with handling sensitive information. He is still an active duty member of the Naval Reserve Intelligence Corps. As much as Tulsi Gabbard has to go for exercises 2 weeks out of the year for her Army National Guard, Pete Buttigieg has to do the same for the Naval Reserve, never not active duty until he officially steps, retires, but whatever they do for reservists. So lying right off the bat, information that could get people, someone handling sensitive information that get people killed. I took an oath and made promises that I would handle it responsibly, which means passing it directly along to the Central Intelligence Agency, who he probably gets a check from. When you're involved in divulging classified information that can harm American troops overseas, that is not something to be taken lightly. CBS News Radio asked about former President Obama's decision to commute Manning's sentence. Buttigieg, I'm troubled by that. CBS News Radio asked him if NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden is a hero or a villain. And he said, when you're trusted with classified information, you have to make a promise. And if you are not comfortable safeguarding information that could get Americans killed, you shouldn't be in that profession. I certainly agree that we've learned things about abuses in one way or another that needed to come out. But in my view, the way for that to come out is through congressional oversight and not through a breach of classified information. There's an asterisk that Taylor put in, and it reads, Action for Assange notes that there is no evidence to suggest that anyone was harmed due to the material leaked by Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, or any of the information published on WikiLeaks' website, as Mayor Buttigieg suggested. Correct. That is right. Pete Buttigieg, full of shit. No information on Julian Castro. Let's see. Mayor Bill de Blasio, who I forgot was running. August 17, 2019, journalist Dak Rouleau asked Mayor de Blasio if he supported Assange. De Blasio, no, I don't, honestly, because I believe very much that we have to address the issues that have been covered up, but I don't think he did it the right way. Raise your hand if you think that John Delaney has a good take on Julian Assange. He doesn't. There's a statement on his website that Says Julian Assange should be extradited to the U.S. for the charge that he allegedly assisted in hacking into government systems. Journalists are free to publish information that they receive, but they are not free to participate in obtaining information illegally. Let me stop you right there. That has never happened at any point. John Delaney, millionaire douchebag who will not, even fucking Elizabeth Warren pointed out that there's no point in running for president if you're going to tell people what they can't have. That's John Delaney, good at telling people what they can't have. Which apparently includes press freedom. Moving on. June 5th, 2019, Representative Tulsi Gabbard posted a video on Twitter in support of WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, saying charging Assange under the Espionage Act will have a serious chilling effect on our most fundamental rights of freedom of speech and freedom of the press. Every American, certainly every journalist, must strongly condemn this anti-democratic act by the Trump administration. She's on record on Joe Rogan's show saying that she would commute and pardon Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, and Julian Assange. Well, not pardon Julian Assange, but drop the charges against them. She said there is not an actual channel for whistleblowers like them to bring forward information that exposes egregious abuses of our constitutional rights and liberties, period. And that's true. There's really not, except for we can do it through the Free Assange Vigil series, until ostensibly we'd be shut down. Tulsi Gabbard has a lot of very good statements about Julian Assange. I would imagine that has a lot to do with the media blackout that she receives. Kamala Harris hasn't given a statement. Let's see. Adam Kokesh, who is a libertarian candidate for president, who was on one of the Free Assange vigils, said dismissal of all charges day one. Big part of his personal platform is that everyone in the U.S. who has ever been charged with a victimless crime will be immediately pardoned. Beto O'Rourke, Bobby Franny, said, I want to make sure that we don't do anything that chills the ability to hold people in positions of public trust accountable, to make sure that the public and the press have the facts to make informed decisions. Those are my values, without commenting on a specific case, which is weasel word bullshit for saying I want you to think that I support at least, the veneer of the First Amendment or the veneer of freedom of the press. But if I was personally in a position of power, I am not going to tell you what I would do. Bobby Franny can't even be real about his name. Why would we expect him to be real about this? Bernie Sanders' his entire statement about this says it's a disturbing attack on the First Amendment for the Trump administration to decide who is or who is not a reporter for the purposes of a criminal prosecution. That's bullshit. That is 100% bullshit. Joe Seastack, who I forgot was running or may not be anymore, no information. He dropped out. Tom Steyer isn't in the debate. Donald Trump has gone from saying I love WikiLeaks to I don't know anything about WikiLeaks to we need more WikiLeaks to I don't know. I mean, I think I may have heard of this Julian Assange fellow, but I have no idea what it is he does or what he would be up to. And it's his Justice Department who is pushing for these extradition charges. It's not like you can, you know, take that guy at his word. Elizabeth Warren, Julian Assange is a bad actor who's harmed national security, and he should be held accountable. And then because she's Elizabeth Warren, but Trump should not be using this case as a pretext to wage war on the First Amendment and go after the free press who hold the powerful accountable every day. Elizabeth Warren, as solid as a windsock, without a breeze. She is something, man. The ability to talk out of both sides of her mouth and still sound fucking condescending and stupid at the same time. It's incredible. It really is. Marianne Williamson, who is getting screwed out of this debate, I think. Not that I've really covered the debates or care much, but people seem to, and bless you, has over the course of her new political career evolved her position on Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. She saw both sides, whatever both sides were to press freedom and the First Amendment when she was on Jimmy Dore's show. Fast forward to her at an event where she said, I don't think there was any difference between the post printing the Pentagon Papers and WikiLeaks until what happened with the last election. I can't say it's the same as Daniel Ellsberg. And then just this last week, a couple of days ago, in Newmarket, New Hampshire, she said, I'm tilting in the direction of if you're going to stand for whistleblowers, you stand for whistleblowers, and I have to, within myself, discern where it is, Marianne, where it is that you just don't like his personality, because his personality isn't an issue here. So there's a dangerous shutting down, and this was true even during the Obama administration. There's a dangerous shutting down of the whistleblowers. I realized that, and he's a whistleblower. So it sounds like the Orb Queen is kind of rolling in the right direction. We found out that not only is Andrew Yang a multi-level marketing grifter in terms of his pitch and delivery for the scam bullshit that is his version of UBI. There's a video up, and it's on my Twitter, and I guess I'll probably link to it. And this from just a couple of days ago, where Yang is saying to the journalist Dr. Lowe, who's asking him the question and videotaping the answer, I think Julian Assange should stand trial. I'm generally pro whistleblower, and I like pro people trying to call out bad behaviors. But in that particular case, he did disclose information that really had no useful purpose except for potential damage to our infrastructure. Inaudible. So yeah, I think he should stand trial. Action for Assange notes there is no evidence to support Yang's claim that WikiLeaks publications have or may have damaged any infrastructure. What they did damage in terms of infrastructure was the NSA's ability to completely spy on everyone without our knowledge. WikiLeaks has damaged the infrastructure of the fucking corporate bot and Mockingbird media's ability to print lie after lie after lie unchecked. That Langley and Pentagon and White House to American televisions and radio stations and six media company owned websites, that pipeline, that was damaged. And that's why we stand with and for Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, Susie Dawson. Yeah, it's a great little compendium that maybe I can chat right now. I'll give it a shot. Great little compendium that Taylor put together. I will see who's here. Best way to donate. The best way to donate Meyer Miar is to is to go to the Patreon, which I just started like yesterday. I'm in the process of uploading my first interview, I guess. I don't know if it's an interview or a conversation that I had with Brooke Hines today. That will be up on the Patreon later today. If you go to patreon.com, that should get you there. And thank you for asking. Thank you for watching. Marianne Williamson loves a lot of troubling things. So her campaign is based all on love. So why wouldn't she love the fucking Fed? But let's see. If we depended on official sources for leaks, they would never see the light of day. National security is ultimately the government's last shield against free press. And it is also the reason that Julian Assange would never fucking stand a fair trial if he was extradited here. John Kiriakou has said multiple times, and he would know because he was in espionage court in the Eastern District of Virginia, facing the exact same judge that would be presiding over Julian Assange's case. You don't get a press gallery for that. Your lawyers don't get access to the evidence that is being used against you. Your defense team can't mount an effective defense. Sorry, shit. I hate saying things twice in a sentence like that. And the only information that gets out is what the judge determines should or shouldn't be leaked, or the prosecutor determines should or shouldn't be leaked. And all your defense team can say is, we're putting forth the best we can. We don't have access to what they have. It is absolutely incredible what the U.S. government is allowed to get away with in the name of national security. So the entire Q crew, the Q Anonymous crew, who believes that once Julian Assange gets here, all of our problems will be solved because the people will see that's bullshit, man. Nobody's ever going to see that trial. He is going to be in a fucking supermax and fucking transferred to court and back to court. That's how he's currently in what is nicknamed the Guantanamo Bay of the United Kingdom. John Pilger, renowned Australian journalist, and friend of Julian Assange's, just went back to Belmarsh and tried to get a visit with him 4 days ago. Julian Assange is in isolation 23 hours a day. He now has permission to call his parents, but he hasn't been taken to a phone yet. And we have presidential candidates, the overwhelming majority of who have, if not a fully supportive position, downright hostile fucking position towards press freedom, towards Julian Assange, towards Chelsea Manning, whistleblowers in general. So we're not going to move the ball forward in terms of getting any kind of freedom, exoneration, or dismissal of extradition for Julian Assange by appealing to the better nature of our elected officials. We need lots and lots of decentralized activism. We need lots and lots of making awareness about Julian Assange part of somebody else's protest. We are going to be speaking with activists tonight on the Free Assange Vigil. I wanted to get this out because I wanted you guys to know, by and large, where the general sentiment of the presidential candidates are. There are a handful that are supportive of Julian Assange. Again, Tulsi Gabbard, very much so. Adam Kokesh, Libertarian candidate for president, very much so. Ian Schlachman, Green Party candidate for president, very much so. Howie Hawkins, Russiagate dipshit, but likely Green Party nominee for president, self-described eco-socialist, and very staunchly pro-Julian Assange. I don't understand what it is with the Green Party needing to run eggheady septuagenarians like they had Cynthia McKinney. You to go back to boring as fuck after Cynthia McKinney, like, seems quite a bit of a letdown. It really does. I have not read the open letter that Marianne Williamson wrote to Hillary Clinton. I will go look that up for sure. All right, guys. I think that is it for me. I will be back live on Action for Assange's YouTube channel at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I will hopefully have the conversation with Brooke uploaded on the Patreon for the members of that. And by the way, thank you so much, those of you who jumped on that yesterday and this morning. I really, really fucking appreciate it. Chat with Brooke will be up. I am also going to have a conversation here in like an hour and a half or so with Andrew Smith from Action for Assange, and maybe Jason Carney, who is trying to work a way to jump in for a little bit of this. I'll tell you about it, and then I'll split. And it'll show up behind a paywall. So fuck. At any rate, a while ago, Andrew put forth the concept that the United States, as it is currently being ran, is being ran as a Stalinist regime. And my counter to that was that it's less the state capitalism of communism and more the corporate state fascist relationship. So we're gonna have that talk. It's gonna get weird, and it should be really fun. Where's the link to the thing? Is it up there? I will absolutely go look at that. But yeah, we're gonna have that talk. It should be fucking wild. Swing by the Free Assange Vigil tonight if you can. Labor Day Monday, we are having an extended Free Assange Vigil at 11 a.m. Eastern. Gordon Dimmick will be joining us from the UK, followed by, I know we have someone, and I know they're fucking cool, and I can't remember who we booked there because I don't have the list in front of me. Brooke Hines will be with us from 1 to 2. couple of folks from the World Socialist website will be with us from 2 to 3, and from 3 to 4, Graham Elwood will wrap up that day. So it will be cool as shit. Until then, my name is Steve Poikinen. This has been Slow News Day, and good luck to us all.